Welcome to Karibu Anawim's 15 Minutes at DrZali'sDesk special. Join us as we dive into the topics related to living with a facial disfigurement. Whether you're here for yourself, your loved ones, or for educational and professional insights, this is for you. We start our conversation with clear, understandable terminology. While we use disfigurement, it's for medical and legal clarity. We acknowledge you may relate to terms like visible difference or your own diagnoses. All our presenters have lived experience or work with people living with facial disfigurement. Curious to know more? So are we. Pull up a seat, grab a cuppa, and let's chat around the table with Karibu Anawim's 15 Minutes at DrZali'sDesk special.
G'day and welcome to part 2
Welcome to
of
Karibu
No,
Anawim's
it's
15
doing it
Minutes at
again.
DrZali'sDesk
dear.
special. Join
Stop.
us as we dive into...
Stop. I forgot to stop the loop. Oh dear me. Oh dear. Golly gosh, when you're thinking of you're doing a professional job and everything else, and you've got everything in your head. Oh dear. It's okay. I'm Dr. Zali, and it's my pleasure to bring on Zoe A. Cross again. She lives with Moebius syndrome, which affects her face, both sides of her face. Her eyes can't go left and right and move up. Can you up and down? Can you
a little bit, yes, a little bit up and down.
And last session we chatted about the speech issues and speech impediments, and the fact that she managed to get that 50% glowing for disability thing that gives her in Germany 5 extra days of holiday, and an extra little bit of tax allowance and a few other little perks for being that 50% mark. So Zoe, without any ado, hello and welcome.
Hi, hello. Thank you for inviting me again. It's so much fun with you, Zoe.
It's okay. No worries. Now, I'm just wondering, could I ask what has been one of the most happiest moments? Because I'm thinking of maybe a story around about being 41 and maybe in Ireland.
Wow, you've got a good memory, so we obviously talked about this. Wow, yeah, this was transformational, and yeah, so I was
background, please. Background. I don't know the background.
Yeah. So let's say, put it this way, to understand, help our viewers understand, our listeners understand. So with this facial difference, I had this very strong belief that it would be absolutely impossible to find a partner, to find love, to find a partner, any kind of, yeah. And the thing is about beliefs, as I now know, if you have this strong conviction that something is true, the trouble is you will then prove it to yourself that it is true. And so,
self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, self-fulfilling prophecy. And so I did look for romance, I looked for love, and it just wasn't happening. I even did some online dating in my mid-30s. And then I met a Japanese colleague, friend, who I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on here, but she said, "That is rubbish. What you are saying is rubbish. Let's do this." And she sort of gently introduced me into dating, meeting new people. That didn't work at first, but it was an experience. And thanks to that,
was it a good experience or not?
Let's say it was okay. It was disappointing because there was no chemistry. There was never any chemistry there.
Was that on your behalf or their behalf?
A bit of both, really. A bit of both. And but it got me doing the notions, going through the notions of having a date and asking questions and trying to be interested in the other side. But sometimes it just doesn't work that way. But things fell into place completely when you're not looking. When you're not looking and you're just having a good time, that's when things happen. And that's exactly what happened in Ireland. I need to write this in a book, but it was my last night of a 4-day trip to Ireland in an Irish pub. Amazing music, amazing friendly people there. And I just got talking to this guy. And then he actually left. But he said, "Oh, meet my friend." Meet my friend. And that person I spent the next 3 hours talking to, and we didn't want the time to end.
And drinking?
And we were drinking a bit as well, yes. We were lubricating. I mean, I must say later on, I felt better in the beginning with some alcohol. But not too much because I wanted to be in control.
Yes,
a little bit, so feeling good, enjoying the music and talking about literally God, the universe and everything. That's what we were talking about, his story, my story. And but I had to go. I had to leave the country the next morning. And this is such a typical cliffhanger. You couldn't write it better in a film. I was in the taxi. It was a rainy day. I was being kindly driven by my B&B person to the airport. He rings me up and said, "Where are you?" And I was thinking, I'd love him to come to the airport because I've got time. But I was too shy because of the guy sitting next to me driving me. And I was thinking, what is he going to think about me if I say, "Come to the airport, I'll meet you there"? And that's why I didn't say anything. But we kept the contact. And I didn't think any more about it until I realized that, well, it was on my sister's wedding. So my sister is 9 years younger than me. I'm the eldest, and I have a brother who's also younger. When my brother was already married, but when my sister, then it was on her wedding night, literally on her wedding night, I was dancing with a school friend of mine who had been kindly invited because, of course, I didn't have a partner to go to the wedding with.
So they found you a partner?
Yeah, so I was with my girlfriend. Yeah. And I suddenly thought of him because he could dance. And I just wrote him a casual text message and said, "I'm at my sister's wedding." And he then said, "When are you coming back to Ireland?" and
when are you coming over here, mate?
Yeah, well, you see, now that is this is something I needed to learn because I didn't know about my value at the time. So I thought, "Oh, okay, I have to go. I have to do all the stuff." But yeah, so I went back to Ireland a couple of 3 or 4 weeks later. And I thought, this is just, I don't know what's going on here. I was with another girlfriend in Ireland as a kind of alibi because I didn't want to tell anyone what I was doing in Ireland, really. And so then we met.
Meet a fella. Gonna meet a bloke.
Yeah, gonna meet a bloke. And I don't know what
from the pub that I met. No idea.
So I met him in another. I mean, this was Saturday afternoon. We were meeting. We were meeting in this pub, but in a safe area. I knew there'd be lots of people because I was scared. I was scared shitless because I thought this is nothing. But why am I here? And I was curious. This was the thing. I was curious, and I thought if I don't go, if I don't find out what's going on here, I never will. And I just thought I had to do this. And so I was scared stiff, but I was there and I was drinking coffee at the time. And he comes in.
You didn't have anything in it?
No, not in the beginning.
In the beginning. I like it. I like it. Not in the beginning. Right.
Yeah. So the taste of things to come. So he then comes in and he says, so he's Welsh, right? So we're in Ireland, he's Welsh, I'm English. And he says, what the hell are you drinking that for? Come and drink something better. And so he buys me my first Murphy stout. So that's even better than Guinness.
Okay.
It's like a strong stout.
Yeah, I know.
And so I was drinking that, he was drinking lager, and we started talking again. This was Saturday afternoon. Yeah, and the trouble is, so then that afternoon we were standing there in the pub, and he was telling me so much about his life story, which was very, very interesting, actually. And that I realised, key moment here. So he then gets something for us to eat. And
it would have been a good idea, I think.
Would have been. And so he's just about to turn round and go to the counter, and suddenly he kisses me. I think he kisses me. He kisses me on the lips and disappears straight away. And I'm thinking, and I'm just standing there and thinking, what the hell just happened?
Did you melt?
And I realised he just kissed me on my lips, didn't he?
Yes.
And I was in complete shock. And at the same, and no. First of all, it was just complete shock.
Yep.
And then he comes back. And I don't know. And then he kisses me again. And what am I supposed? And I didn't even think, what am I supposed to do? I just didn't know what. It was literally freeze. You know when you got this shock, fight, flight, or freeze.
You froze.
So I completely froze.
Well, is that a good thing? Because you didn't have the freeze expression, because you may not have been able to have the freeze expression. Well, I'm just thinking, would that have been?
Well, I mean, he was in control. I felt, I mean, he was in control of the situation. He said, "Kiss me, you dugger." I don't know, but that is literally what he says. Are you going to kiss me, you bugger?
You bugger? Yes. Oh, sorry. I'm not quite sure on how to do that. Yeah, I'm supposed to be kissing you. And did you kiss him?
I thought, actually, that might be a good idea. Because I wanted to. I thought, okay. And that he had to jolt me out of my shock. I thought, and then we got going.
Got going. Oh, okay, right here. There you go.
And I thought, but the thing is, there was another cliffhanger after that, but that afternoon, because he then wanted me to stay the night.
Ooh.
And I said, no, not doing. I'm just too terrified. But I sort of made it clear. But of course, by doing that, I added to my value immensely, because I said, I sort of made it clear, I like you. I am interested in you, but I need some space.
Yeah.
And so
and I'm not one night girl stand chick.
Yeah. And so so he then took me to the bus stop because I had to go from Cork back to Dublin that night and be with sleep with my girlfriend. I had a bedroom, I had a shared hotel room with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. And a couple of months later, because 2 weeks later after that, I had eye surgery. And I needed a couple of months to recover from that surgery. But then, it's such because I should have been there with him on Valentine's Day, 14th of February, 2014. But yeah.
Why should you have been there on? Why should you have? Because
That was our plan. That was
our plan. Okay.
Yeah, that was our plan. Yeah, okay. It's not happening at the moment, but it will. It should be okay by the 14th of the 2nd, 2014. A lovely number as well. Because let's say, this is the story, of course. Yeah, talking of value, and he was not really. Looking at it now, he'd had a very interesting business. He'd been running a business in Spain, and he had then, in the financial crisis of 2008, he come back to Ireland, and he was living in fairly humble. He was living as a caretaker in a block of flats, helping a friend. But this was the story. He was saying, I don't have the fund at the moment to come, but maybe I can come later. But so it got a bit complicated later, which is when because I was the one who was traveling to Ireland, and I love Ireland. So it was easy for me because I met other people there.
Yeah.
But so I did this a couple of times. I went in early March 2014. I went back for Easter, which was in April sometime. And then I went one more time because I had more surgery. And I went one more time in July. Okay. But in July, I started to realize a couple of things. And I thought, I wasn't actually I wasn't super pleased about things, but I thought we may be going to the next stage. But he then completely boxed that. He really, so let's say, it's quite slightly dodgy because he then had some German, and he could have got a great job in our company. He could have been very, very useful in our company, actually, with his English. But, and I had made it possible for him to apply and to get this position, but he didn't act on it. And let's say there are other things that I don't really want to go into detail now, but I thought, right. And so I remember there was a day. Yeah, there were sort of pink flags along the way in July. I didn't see them. I didn't want to see them, but in, let's say, August, I think it was August then, he then absolutely had this red flag, and I thought, there were other ones along the way, and I thought, that's the final straw, that there's all this other evidence, and I am saying goodbye right now.
Well done. Yeah, well done. That would have been hard, knowing that that's the first kiss and that sort of stuff. Can I ask a very quick question? In the first meeting, did you actually talk about your moebus?
At the pub, yeah. So I don't tend to talk about it much. Let's
Yeah.
say generally in conversation, generally. Um, but he was the one. He was the one asking, sort of
Mm.
talking, and then he said, "May I ask you a question?" And then he said, and of course, because we had this, and this is perfect. I mean, I don't really take offense when somebody asks relatively quickly, but of course,
Mm.
this was such a natural um, situation that we built a bond already. We were having a good time. I said, "May I ask you a question?" And then I told him,
Mm.
and I'm totally comfortable telling him.
Yeah.
And then he opened up and told me stuff that I couldn't see about him. But that was very, very interesting. But yes, so
Wow. So you basically felt comfortable, and then he asked you, and then it was just rolling out of your mouth that
yeah,
this is what I've
yeah.
got, this is what it is. And then because you were so open and vulnerable, he felt comfortable enough to share his inner disfigurement, maybe, for want of
Um, yeah, it was. Yeah, he's recovered. He'd
mm,
he'd been in a fight. He'd been in a fight, and he had been in a wheelchair for a while.
mm-hmm,
And with sheer determination and well, a lot of luck, and
mm,
he was able to get back out of the wheelchair, and as far as I could tell, fully recover.
mm-hmm,
But he had been through quite a lot, and these were the things that I couldn't see,
yeah.
but quite.
But you did eventually.
Mm, it just no, it's just so that incident. It was just part of his life
Mm,
story, and there was a bond there as well.
mm,
Um, but yeah, the things that made me turn away from him or run to safety, because we were talking earlier about boundaries in another
mm,
conversation, and I thought, ooh, my boundaries are here, up to here
mm-hmm.
and no further, and that's
That's
it.
it. Good.
No further negotiation. That's it.
Yep, that was the cutoff. Good. That was
Yeah.
it. Yeah, we all have to have boundaries in life. There, you know, and when people push up against a boundary, they don't particularly like the word no, or
Mm.
I'm not ready, or um, that sort of thing. It's just not really mentioned these days. Boundaries
Mm.
are, boundaries is like probably on par with the word disfigurement at the moment. It's
Mm.
poo-pooed upon. But we all need boundaries, and we all need safe boundaries, because you had safety with your friend over in Ireland where you were visiting. So when you went there, you were in a public space until he dragged you into a pub and then started and he said, "I'll get you something bloody better to drink." And then gave you Murphy's, a Murphy's schooner and that sort of thing. So it's amazing. Thank you very much. So for sharing your first kiss at 40 what? 41?
At the tender age of 41, yes.
Tender age 41. Did you and you didn't ever think that was going to happen, did you?
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I was okay. I was okay. I'd sort of come to terms with it, and however, once I'd had that experience, it was as my Japanese friend who'd set up
Mm.
a couple of dates with me. She said, "One day a door will be opened," and this was the door, and I was very strategic then. I have a strategic streak in me. And I thought on the day because I'd given it some thought when I thought, I think I'm going to have to say goodbye to this person.
Yeah.
And I, on the day that I sent him a text message, I could not, I mean, this is another issue. I don't care if you judge me for sending him a text message. There was no other way for me to communicate with him, because he had clearly said, I cannot receive calls from you because it costs him. So
how did that work? You anyway? Doesn't
yeah. So another red flag, right?
Yeah.
But on the same day that I said goodbye, I sent him a text message. I was polite. I mean, say I'm sorry, but it's not going to work. It's this and it. That evening,
what did you do?
I registered. I took some selfies. I registered with an online dating platform, because I realised the door is now open. If that can happen in a pub in Ireland, hell, it must be possible to get this working in Germany. There are men in Germany, and there must be somebody out there who will accept and love me for who I am.
Wow. So you opened another door. You shut that door, healthily shut that door, and then you opened that other door. Wow. Okie dokies. Well, thank you very much. That is a lot of conversation and chatting. Thank you very much. Would you like to come back again, or would you like to say see you later, bye-bye? It doesn't matter. Whichever one. It's up to you.
I would be happy for one more. I'd love one more. It's been so much fun.
Let's do it. We've done it. All right then. Well, thank you very much for coming this time. And now I will put up no, not that one. This one. Hang on. I am going to press this one, and see you later, guys.
See you later.
By golly gosh, it's the end of Karibu Anawim's 15 minutes at Dr. Zali's Desk special. And that's a wrap for this episode. Thanks for tuning in. Please remember that all information given during this episode is for general application only. If you have any specific medical issues, as always, consult with your medical practitioner. Like, subscribe and share on whatever platform you find us on. For more information, please connect with Karibu Anawim on our website at karibuanawim.com or email us at inquiries@karibuanawim.com.